Hey guys, and this is Raven, and welcome back to part 2 of the EFSF Demeter Speed build. So last time we did the core room and a little bit of extra stuff and the entire salvaging array. A little bit of detailing, etc. So from here on out, we're going to start working on the interior and finishing up that front end. Sorry about that. Anyway, so right here we're just kind of playing around with a few different ideas that could work. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to make the interior parts look like they were separate, like they were tacked on, if you will, or like the salvager was held on to the front end of the ship. So I wanted the interior to be completely separated from the back, or from the front of the ship, rather. Yeah, it was a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie about that. So here we go. We're just gonna kind of jump right on in. So we're already putting in the door, and I had originally thought to do logic and all that stuff. These doors changed, and you'll be able to see that. But we're playing with area triggers, so when you walk in, you should be able to open the doors and then close the doors. Of course, I kind of screwed it up, but that's alright. You'll notice right there the main problem ends up being that when you run into it, it's going to open on one and then close on the other as you're trying to get in. Yeah, could have thought that through, didn't. I ended up fixing it, I think right about here anyway. Not such a big deal. So we extended the whole thing down because I figured we may as well just add another floor down below. And that could be kind of your main entranceway and everything. Kind of needed the space, so we went ahead and threw it in there. Figured we ought to do some lighting as well. So we do. And then, as always, needs a few more wedges. So that's exactly what we did. So yeah, we're going to wedge everything up, kind of get the bottom of this somewhat shaped out. So this will give us a basis for everything. And after looking at it, it kind of looked like I could use pentas and tetras a lot more than what I had. So we threw those on and kind of wedged it all up. Ended up looking pretty good. I liked it. Just remember that I have since gone back and tweaked this ship. This is by no means everything that was done, but it does give you the basis of, you know, the original release version. This is essentially the original release version. I did have another version that has a sorting system in it, and if anybody ends up downloading the ship and wants to check that out, definitely do so, and it would be great if you guys told me how it worked. Also, Saber's flying around in his little eagle thingy. Yeah, so here we're starting to add in the shell, and now that we have a little bit of an interior to work with, we know where that is. We can extend the salvager shell back the way that I wanted it to, with a little cowling over the top. And yeah, so that's exactly what we're doing here. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk the whole time. I'm going to tell you when there's something interesting going on and something new. And I'm sorry about all these pauses. I was getting a lot of messages during this time. And there's some people talking in chat, and I love it when you guys do that. I normally edit them all out, but they were so quick that I didn't really mind. So here goes failed cockpit design number 1. Yeah, ugly as sin. It's bad. We rotate into the light a little bit. Yeah, not so pretty. Here's failed design number 2. And hopefully here in a second, we'll just say never mind. But I always try to go through with it. I mean, you know, building one of the cockpit like that takes almost no time at all. You know, 3.5 minutes. Then I realized, yeah, this looks like crap. Let's not do that ever again, ever. The N-type cockpit I really ended up liking. There we go. We're gonna add in some support struts. And we'll start sort of fleshing out where the rest of the interior is gonna go in its general shape. And there's our storage for whatever you need. And I'll have to actually go back and change up some of that stuff. And I believe that was the original storage system. It would automatically put it in there. Now I've actually got a sorting system. It's much larger as well and marked, I think, appropriately. But yeah, again, if you guys want to tell me, you know, if it's any good, definitely do so. And now is when I realized that copy and paste does not necessarily save the linking if the linking, the computer block, is not part of the copy paste. Just a little piece of advice for y'all. So we try and try to do a replace, that doesn't work. So yeah, do have a nice little trick here though in the end. I think I've tried this a couple times. Yep, see, it didn't work again. But, you know, if you try something and it just doesn't work, period, yeah, just stop trying. So the goal here was actually to convert them into cannon barrels and then switch back and see if that worked. Sort of bug fixing while building. Or bug examining? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just talking here, guys. Anyway, so we ended up getting rid of all of them and we just put in new lines of salvagers. So, not really a big deal. It's kind of funny that Saber shows up every single time that happens and you can just see him spinning in front of the front end. It's kind of cool because of the block transparency. Alright, so this is a relatively short, gonna be a relatively short episode as well. I'm kind of trying to break it down in pieces so that y'all can see where I'm at. So there we go, there's our salvager. And it's fully functional. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this stuff and start wedging again. And this is where you can start to see the shape of the ship. Now I'm removing all those blocks simply because I plan to use corners there for a 45 at 45, and well, I think we do that in the next video, but I'm not entirely sure. When I build some of this stuff, it's just kind of a blur, so I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. Also, totally random, but I figured I'd give you guys that are watching this video a little bit of a chance to put some input on the channel. Do you guys really like these builds, or do you got, what kind of stuff do you want to see? There will be another ship review coming up midweek this week. It all depends on what day a certain doctor's appointment is going to be for me. So, you know, got to work around that sort of stuff. But there will be another ship review sometime this week, probably Wednesday or Thursday, depending. This is me screwing around with Saber. Alright, and so here we go. We're gonna try to add in some new layers so it looks nice. It gives a nice little contoured feel to the back of the ship. it's one of those things. It's nice if you can do it, and some ships don't actually allow for you to do it because of the space limitations, but you know, it's not particularly hard, and I do it in a lot of my ships. And right here we're just adding some new colors and essentially artificial shadows by wedging this stuff off and just changing the color there. And wedges, more wedges, and then a few more wedges after that. Now, as you might notice, I use a lot of light mode. Primary reason for that is because I was working in a bright sector, but it's still helpful when you're working in those, you know, very shadowy areas once you've created a lot of shadows. Oh, by the way, that is version 1-ish for where the cockpit could go, and it gets changed a little bit, but it gives a good idea of what I'm aiming for. Now we've got the two inset stripes there, and that's actually something I learned to do from the Naviri way back when. But it gives a really nice effect, and I wish I'd see it more when I do ship reviews. Hint, hint. Hint, hint, hint. Alright, and just sort of adding in little bits, and here comes a pretty cool little thing that I managed to do, and I'm sure anybody here could do it. It's not a particularly difficult piece of detailing, but it ends up looking really nice if you do it right. There you go. It's that simple really, and then you just add in a little bit of hull underneath. I went with gray, and then went back and realized I missed a few spots, but it ends up looking really, really cool and really nice. So, you know, just little things like that. I don't know what it's supposed to be, just pretty. You know, it is what it is. I tend to wedge when I view something as mostly complete. Once I kind of have the base shape for it and everything, and it's where I want it, then I'll wedge it up. And that's my sign to myself that I'm maybe not done with this piece, but I'm mostly done with this piece. But yeah, so we're getting pretty close here. We've got a fair amount more done this time. Now I'm just marking off where I want the engines to start and kind of wrap around. And last bits of detailing, and from here we're gonna end up going ahead and calling this episode just about done. You get to see an alternate version of where the bridge is gonna be. I don't actually remember where it ended up being. But yeah, so thanks guys for watching. It's been great, and as always, I'll see you again next time.